Oh shit, I can do it. Hello and welcome to the Premier League Punters over on oddsmarket.com. I am your host, Natalie van Rijstrom. This is my co-host, Flash.
How are you doing? Merry Christmas, everyone. Hope you're enjoying the holidays. A very good weekend just passed for the Premier League Punters team. But this card is very, very trappy.
I'm going to say, but before we get to that, we usually talk results.
Right.
And I'm surprised you skipped over that one.
Well, yeah.
Mr. 10 units.
I'm
surprised you didn't start with that one.
Yeah, and the thing is, I lost 2 units on the Newcastle game because I went for a draw and I went for under 1.5 and it was 2-1. So I probably would have done exactly the same thing again. I know I would have lost again, but it was a very tight game and I did expect it to be a draw. But the others, I mean, why I didn't go for Brighton when I said how impressive they've been. They've changed their DNA and they cruised. Could have been 3 or 4-0, they won 2-0. Brighton, I would tell people, are probably like the Burnley of 2 years ago now. They've got so much confidence, they're happy to go anywhere and play. So just beware of Brighton over the next few weeks. But this is a very, very trappy card. But remember, keep Watford on side of you. 3.9 and 3.0 winners with Watford over the weekend.
Now, joining us, obviously, I can see Martin's already on the full screen. Hello, Martin. How are you doing?
Hi, Nat. Yeah, very good. Thanks. Very good.
Very good. Wonderful.
Yeah, had a good round of fixtures as well. I think all my tips were correct apart from Tottenham. I thought Tottenham would go and beat Norwich, but they didn't. That was 2-2. But everything else came in. So yeah, had a very profitable time over the Christmas period, and up a good few units as well. So that was delightful to see. Hopefully, you can keep the momentum going into New Year's Day.
Yes, let's do it. Now, a couple of things. I believe the way we've been positioned, Flash, if you look at me, you're actually looking on the left, so don't look at me. Look, you can't see. Anyway, second thing is we do have an announcement. I'm going to wait till more people are watching until I get this announcement. It is quite a big announcement, so it is, yes, so just wait and see. Do we have the record, Flash?
We do.
We do, you did it.
Yes.
Thought you'd sneak it in with all those 10 units.
No, you're joking. I had a bad week again the week before.
See, look, when you turn, see?
Look there.
No, yeah.
Have I got to look this way? How are you now?
No, yes. Larry, can we sort that or not? Is it too late now? We can. What's it? Yeah, all right. All right, well, do you want to bring up the record first, Larry? We already did. I didn't see it. We're not on full screen. I can't see.
Do you want me to read it out?
There we go. Mine is okay. You're moving up. All right, missed it all of it. Okay, 23.6 units of profit. Wow. It's actually a little bit delayed on here, so I can read it on here. What are you on, Martin? Do we have Martin? Do we have the?
I think I'm on plus 23 or something like that.
You're plus 23. Here we go. 22.7 there. Dave bets 9.2 and Flash minus 6.3. And those are all the bets on articles and on videos. Obviously, that's Dave bets. He writes some Premier League bets over for us on oddsmarket.com. Okay, so let us crack on. This is going to be about a 45-minute show, and it's going to go straight to. It's working now. It's going to go straight to the best bet show, La Liga, Serie A, and Bundesliga. So it's an hour and a half of football tips for you guys. So let us crack on. Like I said, when we reach a sort of a bigger number, I am going to tell you what is happening. We're going to have it's a new year. And something big is happening, so stay tuned. Brighton versus Chelsea now. Brighton 3.9, Chelsea 2.0. Now, Flash, you have saved quite a few people some money with some of these traps. I don't know. I think it's a great price for Chelsea. They come from beating Arsenal. We did predict they were going to beat Arsenal. I don't know. I was quite tempted by Chelsea, but you think not?
No, I do not. I definitely think not. I think Chelsea, that is an absolute trap price if they're offering you double your money on Chelsea away at Brighton. Brighton, one of the form teams in the league, even if some of the results have gone against them, they've played really well, their confidence is up, they're actually playing through midfield, they will score goals. I think the safest way here is, yes, you could go with Chelsea at 2, not for me, But I'd rather go with the Alex Classic of both teams to score over 2.5 at 2. So then that brings in maybe the draw at 2-2. That brings in Brighton winning 2-1. Or it even brings in Chelsea winning 2-1. So for me, spread your risk by going with the Alex Classic at 2.
Okay, I don't know. That Chelsea and Martin, are you on the Chelsea win?
No, I'm not on the Chelsea win either. I'm also rating Brighton quite heavily at the moment, quite highly. Sorry, I had them under 2.5 goals in their game against Bournemouth, and was pleased to see 2-0 to Brighton. Yeah, I think they're a good team. I think they can. I think they can go out and score in this game. Graham Potter rotated his squad a bit over the busy fixture period, and he can bring in Neil Maupay for this game. I think they'll cause Chelsea problems. Wasn't overly impressed by Chelsea, even though they got the win against Arsenal. For most of the game, they were chasing it, especially in the first half. They were very poor, and motivation could be a bit of an issue. But yeah, I just think. Like Flash, keep it simple. I'm keeping it even simpler, just both teams to score at odds of 1.67. Not huge, but I'm just a little bit worried about potentially a 1-1 draw. But I do think both teams will get on the score sheet in this game. It should be a good one.
Cool. All right, so both teams to score and the Alex Classic from Flash. Paddy's 1996 says, nothing is a trap when Flash is running so hot. We just fan you down a little bit with those 10
units.
There's
a long way to go. But let me tell you something now. I've been in this game a long time, and the New Year's Day fixtures are as tricky as they come. I mean, listen, all the boys, a lot of them are used to it, but you're spending your night away from your family. But a lot of players will wait up until gone midnight to wish their friends and family Happy New Year. Listen, there will be some strange results here, so I would prefer maybe to steer clear of the win side on certain games and maybe just go for both teams to score or both teams to score no.
Yeah, Paddy's 1996 is still dishing out the compliments. This one, Martin is like Liverpool this season, just grinding out his units all the way up to 20. Nice. That's so cool. All right. Burnley versus Aston Villa now. Burnley at home 1.85, the draw 3.9, and Aston Villa 4.45. Both lost over the weekend. Aston Villa really need that win as well. They're in 18th position. They are looking like a serious relegation candidate. We will next week be doing a futures, looking at if there's any plays on the outrights or finish top 4, relegation battle, that kind of thing. So. Stay tuned for that. The problem with Aston Villa is they just don't travel very well. I think that the price is, I like the price for Burnley, to be honest, 1.85. I also think this is going to be a low-scoring game. Martin, what do you think?
Yeah, I could see it being a low-scoring game. Aston Villa haven't looked particularly exciting in front of goal recently. Jack Grealish looks to be their only good player for me. They were horrendous against Watford. I had Watford to win and under 4.5 goals. And I got worried when they were 1-0 up and got Mariappa sent off with 33 minutes still to play. Aston Villa barely had a shot when they were playing against 10 men. Watford just stormed up the pitch, scored twice and killed them off. And that's got to be a real blow to Aston Villa's confidence. They're slipping down closer towards the relegation zone, and I'd be a bit worried if I was an Aston Villa fan right now because they haven't got many fighters in that team. They're going to Burnley. Turf Moor's a difficult place to visit. This looks like a really good opportunity for Burnley to get back to winning ways. I think there's a danger of them bullying Aston Villa in this game. Odds are getting a little bit longer. 1.87 on the home win. That looks very attractive to me. So I'm going for Burnley. Straight win, 1.87.
Yeah, Burnley straight win. What did you say the odds were?
1.87.
1.87. Oh, it looks like we need to change the outrights there. There we go. 1.87 Martin found. Shop around for your odds. We got 1.85, didn't we?
We did. And there's another one later on as well that I can tell you that's changed when I did these. I did these at about, 10:15 this morning. And by 10:30, one of them had changed. So we'll let you know about that as well. Aston Villa, now 1.55 to get relegated. So... yeah,
ooh,
I mean,
that's really low.
Yeah, they're second favourites now behind 12 to 1 on. Well, that's 1.08. about Norwich. So Villa now are a clear second favourites to be relegated. Yeah, I'm going with Burnley as well. I think Burnley far too strong. I thought it was unlucky not to get something out of the Man United game, although they got beat 2-0. It was only a breakaway 95th minute goal by Rashford when obviously Burnley were trying to chase the game. I've gone with Burnley and over 1.5 at 2.25. I can see this being 2-0, 2-1. I can see Burnley scoring more than one. So Burnley and over 1.5 at 2.25.
Ooh, I know you're on a roll. I would have played it under 3.5 just in case of, I don't know, 1 or 2.
Yeah, but under 3.5, they've still got to win that over 1.5, haven't they?
Okay.
Well,
No, under 3.5.
What, just anyone?
No, Burnley. I did a combine.
What, Burnley and under 3.5?
Yeah.
But does that mean that the Burnley and over 1.5 will come in then? Or
Yeah,
you apart from the 1-0?
Well, exactly 1-0.
Oh, that 1-0.
Well, that's what I was. That was what I was thinking. I don't know.
Okay.
I think it's going to be tight. Do you think the Villa will score?
No, I think there's more chance of Villa letting in two. Remember, Tyrone Mings is out for the season. John McGinn, who's probably been their best player outside of Grealish in midfield, is out long term as well. Listen, the strikers missing chance after chance. For me, Burnley win the game, and I think they score more than one, and they're the type of side that could go and score just over 4.5.
All right. So I've just got a message. So I will be letting you know this news starting when we get to the Southampton and Spurs game. We also do, in case you guys don't know, we do some of the top games. We do them as clips for those that are interested in not listening to the two of us speak for an hour and just interested in the, we clip up some of the most important matches. So for those who just find us on the clips, I'm going to say it on all of the clips. So sorry if I repeat myself four times because there are 4 clips, but we just want to make sure that you guys know this information moving forward and can keep watching us. Okay, Newcastle versus Leicester. Leicester obviously back to their winning ways. On the weekend, they obviously had 2 difficult fixtures, Man City and Liverpool. Newcastle obviously coming from 2 losses. I think that Leicester, it's low. It's probably more in the realm of my value at 1.63 for that Leicester win. I'm not sure if I still think it's low, but I'm not sure if I'm confident enough to back them right now. I know Martin has made a lot of money backing Leicester. Martin, are you playing Leicester at that 1.63?
I have made a bit of money backing Leicester this season, which has been great. I had them to beat West Ham in midweek, and they pulled it off, which was a good result to see. I actually was going to pass this game because I don't like Newcastle. I find them to be coupon busters. They always seem to defy the odds and get victories. They're very difficult to beat at St James's Park. But I've kind of while we've been talking, I've talked myself into betting on Leicester because they just haven't been rotating their squad. I think they're going to have players that are going to be fatigued for this game, Newcastle, whereas Leicester rested a lot of players. Jamie Vardy, they rested a lot of key men for that trip to West Ham. So I think with fresher legs, they can get the job done in this game, even though they're on the road. 1.64 isn't huge odds, but I'm just checking what the price is for the old classic bet of Leicester and under 5 goals. 1.88. I'm going to go for that. 0.88. Bit extra value.
Like you're sat there having little conversations in your head as we're going through this. Should I take it?
The voices in my head just shouting at each other.
I was thinking, though, I think that Newcastle could find the back of the net. Newcastle at home, they often find the back of the net. Something like a Leicester and both teams to score to get some more value. I definitely like the Martin Classic, though, with the under 4.5 goals.
Pass. It's an absolute pass from me.
You glared at me.
I know. I just hate this game. I hate this game so much. The big problem I have is with Newcastle defend so deep. And with Newcastle defending so deep, that means that Vardy's not going to have space to get into. They have good athletes in both sides of the... I can see this being a 1-1 draw, to be honest. I'd probably go under 2.5 goals if gun to my head. But I'm gonna have to pass this game because... I don't see... If you don't go for Leicester, then you can't go for anyone. And I can't see that Leicester are definitely going to win. So I've got to leave the game alone.
Okay. All right. I hear you. I have to, I like Leicester and both teams to score. Leicester win 1.63, but yeah, Newcastle at home. Okay, right, Southampton versus Spurs, and as promised, I will get to the information. So this is the last Premier League punters show on Odds Market. We are moving back over to Sportsbook Review, which is, I know you, for those who regularly watch the show, know that we are the sister site of Sportsbook Review. We're actually merging our European content over to Sportsbook Review. So it'll be the same, obviously, Premier League punters. We're discussing on which shows that we want to bring over. Premier League Punters is definitely staying, but all as well, our written content will be over sportsreview.com/picks. There will be, as we speak, a soccer page which is being created, and we're going to put all our soccer content onto there. So when is the next show? Because it's not next week, is it?
No, yeah, it'll probably be back end of next Thursday. So next Thursday.
Next Thursday, we will be on Sportsbook Review. And obviously, if you want to be, if you haven't already subscribed to Sportsbook Review, please head on over Sports Review, hit the subscribe, the bell button. You can also follow us on Twitter at SBR Sports Picks. Every show that we do on Sportsbook Review, you get notifications 10 minutes before. 5 minutes before the time of, so you're all good. If you don't want to miss a show, we have you covered. So even if you just want to give us a follow on Twitter at SBR Sports Picks, and you'll be notified. But we are still here. It is the same team and still giving you the same picks, but back on Sportsbook Review. So that was the news. Southampton 3.45, draw 3.6, and Spurs 2.2. Tottenham obviously coming from that draw at Norwich. But the thing is, it's not overly surprising when you look at how bad they travel this season. I have to say, Flash, you are very quickly becoming the king of the draw. And I was looking, if you compare their home and away record, you've got to say, does this have draw or even a lean?
No, more than a lean. First of all, I'm kicking myself because last week I actually had Norwich versus Tottenham as the draw. And then I was thinking, right, 3 or 4 suspensions and injuries across the midfield. The midfield was unrecognisable, by the way. I think he must have played 2 defenders in midfield as well. And I thought, I'll go with Winter Neal. No, Mourinho can, just close up shop or park the bus, whatever you want to call it. But them 3 or 4 suspensions, they will be back this week. I'm actually thinking Spurs, who've got a very, very good record, by the way, down at St Mary's. I'm going with Spurs and over 1.5 at 2.4. I think Spurs win this game. I mean, there's a massive gulf in the quality. And as I say, Harry Kane, I've seen him score a hat-trick, and that's when he missed a penalty in one game. The Spurs had the Indian sign over Southampton at St Mary's. So I would say this game is normally maybe 1.7, 1.75 to Spurs. You're getting 2.2 or 2.4 over 1.5 goals. Yeah, I'm going with Spurs, 2.4.
I'm very surprised that you are going against Southampton. I think that their form is, they only scored 9 at home, but I think that their form, it's improving. They haven't lost in 3. They recently beat Chelsea. I don't know. I think it's tough to go against.
It's just a matchup of individuals. And all of a sudden, the feel-good factor as well. Spurs to Southampton is probably no more than an hour and a half away. Listen, Harry Kane and Dele Alli always seem to score against Southampton at St Mary's. So you've got to go with it. And I think that the Spurs attacking threat against Southampton's defence is one-way traffic for me. So I just see Spurs winning. And at 2.4 for just being over 1.5 goals, I can see this being 3-1.
Yeah, I think I see Southampton scoring at home, to be honest, even though they've scored 9. I was looking as well, both teams to score. Saints have one of the highest road concede records. I think it's like 17 goals they've conceded on the road.
Yeah, but 9 at home against obviously Leicester as well.
Yeah. So, okay, what do you like here, Martin?
I like the old Alex classic of both teams to score and over 2.5 goals in this game. I've got odds of 1.91 on that. I think that looks appealing. I can certainly see Tottenham winning it. I can certainly see Tottenham scoring twice. After watching their defensive display against Norwich, I was a bit scared of them conceding twice as well, which is why I'm keeping it a bit more generic and going for goals markets. I think Southampton have looked a lot better going forwards of late. They do concede goals, Both teams will probably play with a back three in this game and match each other with formations. But I think both teams have got dangerous players going forwards. And Tottenham's defence just doesn't impress me at all at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's strange to see how far the likes of Alderweireld have gone backwards. And playing that Foyt is just a terrible move. And yeah, I just think they played a lot of games. I can see both of these teams conceding. Both teams to score over 2.5 goals, 1.91. Keep it simple.
Yeah, keep it simple. I agree with that. Little nervous, I have to say, of the upsets and the Spurs, but you are on a roll, Flash. Watford versus Wolves. Watford 3.3, Wolves 2.33. I think this is a really tough call, to be honest with you. Wolves obviously won the reverse 2-0. Watford have been looking good of late. They are working hard to get out of the relegation zone. They have the home advantage. Wolves, though, are a strong team. Is this a draw?
It looks that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does look that way. But I was tempted to go with Watford at 3.3. I was tempted to go with a draw at 3.5, but I couldn't rule Wolves out at 2.33. So I just went with I thought I just maybe pull the brakes up a little bit. I've gone with both teams to score at 1.8.
Yeah.
And
I think it's a real tricky game here.
I think both teams score, so I think that's probably the best way. 1-1, I think both teams will be happy with it. Watford's squad is not as big, even though they've got plenty. And obviously, Mariappa got sent off the other day against Villa. They've picked up a few yellows, but they've got spirit and they're well organised now. They're going to be tough to beat, but Wolves are a different proposition. They're a good side.
Yeah.
So both teams to score at 1.8.
Yeah. What about you, Martin? If you had to play the outrights, are you playing the outrights?
No.
I'm not playing the outrights, no.
If you had to, gun to head is the only bet you can make in this match.
I'll probably go with a draw if I had to. Yeah, I think this could be a draw. Been very impressed with Watford recently. 7 points from their last 3 games. Really a lot tighter at the back since Nigel Pearson took over. And the return from injury of Troy Deeney's really helped galvanise this squad as well. He's given them a bit of a focal point in attack that they've been missing, and a bit of fight, which they've lacked as well. So impressed with them, but like Flash says, I can't rule Wolves out. They obviously recently just beat Man City. They were unlucky to lose to Liverpool. Bit of a dodgy VAR decision there. And I just can see these two teams cancelling each other out. Might be slightly leaning a bit towards Wolves because they rested a lot of players for that game against Liverpool, and they can bring back the likes of Jimenez and then Donker for this game. But I'd be happy with 1-1 because I'm going for under 2.5 goals at odds of 1.9. Don't see this being a particularly high-scoring game. Both of these teams like to keep things pretty tight at the back at the moment. 1-1, 1-0 to either team. That suits me. 1.9 on both teams to score.
Is that a collector's item, by the way?
What?
That we're both having a bet in the same game, but Martin's odds are higher than mine. He's gone for it. He's found.
But your odds are always like 3 and 4.
I know, but he's got 1.9 and I've got one at 1.8. I mean, that's a collector's item.
I'm grinding out results, Flash. I'm like Liverpool.
Sorry, mate?
I'm grinding out results like Liverpool.
Listen, there's no knocking what you're doing. I'm just here to entertain. I'm like either winning 10 units or losing 10.
Slowly climbing up though. You were remember like a few weeks ago you were like super. What were you?
I was 15.5.
Everyone was giving you a massive rip, weren't they?
I was 15.5 down going into this weekend.
That's actually you're like a winning from behind kind of which team will win from behind?
Yeah.
Flash comes, yeah. All right, close and cagey. All right, Martin's liking that. All right, so moving over to Man City versus Everton. I did warn the guys watching through the whole thing. I'm going to have to repeat it 4 times now. I've just got 3 more. That Premier League punters, moving forward, the next show will be on Sportsbook Review. If you type in, I just tried it now, SBR Sportsbook Review, the first thing that comes up is SBR Sports Picks. It's got the SBR with the logo of the bull. Premier League punters is moving over to there. Same crew, same winning bets, same everything, just on Sportsbook Review. You can also, if you want to follow us on Twitter, at SBR Sports Picks, you get notified of all the shows on there. If you don't know Sportsbook Review, we have a whole host of shows from NBA, NHL, Betting with the Bag, but more of US sports. Obviously, Odds Market, we focus on European sports. So it'll be a big combination, everything back under one roof. Also, all our written content will be on sportsbookreview.com/picks. Okay, Man City versus Everton, 1.28 for the Man City win, Everton 11.25. Man City just won. They're sometimes a little bit of a coupon buster as Man City, aren't they? 1 point behind Leicester. They lost again. They lost again to Wolves. They bounced back, obviously, with a Sheffield win. That game, did you watch the game?
Yes.
The Man City game? What a roller coaster of a game. And then the penalty again, and that was that right?
Yeah, the big
that
thing
was just like
the big thing I noticed was that in certain stages of that game, Man City were back to the old Man City. They were shifting the ball, they were going past people, and yet they were still vulnerable on the break. Nice to see Aguero back, so maybe for the next few weeks, look for him to get on the score sheet at any time. That was probably the way I was going to actually go in this game. I was actually going to go Aguero any time, because I couldn't go with Man City and under 3.5, because Everton are the type of side that will either get beat 2-1 or 5-1 or 5-0. And obviously with Ancelotti, this is his real first big test away from home. I just had to pass. I just thought that I can't be bothered with it. Man City, for me, they could go and score 5. They could just dribble over the line. I had them to win to 0, and I think I was quite fortunate over the weekend. So I'm just going to leave it alone.
Yeah. Mahish is going for, they went Everton plus 1.5 at 2.09. That looks quite interesting. Obviously, Man City beat Everton 3-1 in the reverse. They now have the home advantage. They haven't been winning as big as they were winning in the beginning, but do you think they'll get the win here, Martin?
I think they will. Yeah, they've got a very good record against Everton. They've won their last 4 games against them by a 2-goal margin in each instance. The worry I'd have for Everton is that they haven't rotated their side at all during this very busy fixture period. Carlo Ancelotti played the exact same starting 11 in their last 2 games. Obviously, it paid dividends. He's got 2 wins out of 2. They've had a great start. But I just think tired legs against this Man City team could be a real issue for Everton in this game. Obviously, Man City aren't as consistent as they were. They're dropping points all over the place. But going into a game like this at home against a team like Everton that aren't particularly renowned for being a defensive side, that's the sort of game that I still feel that they can rack up a pretty high scoreline in. So I'm backing Man City to win this one with a minus 1.75 Asian handicap at odds of 2.02.
All right, but I would have thought they were slightly galvanised, Everton. So they've got the same, they know it's working. They should feel pretty confident coming into Man City. And Man City really can't afford though to slip any more points. But you don't think that you think more tiredness and fatigue is going to get in the way than galvanisation?
Yeah, I think fatigue could be an issue. They are obviously, he has done a good job of, and everyone knows that Carlo Ancelotti's a good man manager. He's really good at getting the players on side. But this is such a stern test, and the honeymoon period could be well and truly over for the Toffees in this game. Could come unstuck, I think, because there's going to be some tired legs. And all it takes is another Kevin De Bruyne masterclass to rip them to shreds. He's done it to far better teams than Everton this season. And at home, I think they can win by a good 2 goals in this game.
Okay. All right, Norwich versus Crystal Palace now. Quite high odds there for Norwich, 2.55. Crystal Palace, 2.95. Norwich favourites to be relegated, just 12 points, 2 home wins, a draw and 6 losses. And they conceded, I think they've got the worst concede record, second worst concede record in the Premier League. Southampton holds the worst concede record of 24 at home. So Norwich, 2.55, Crystal Palace 2.95. Are you playing the outright, Flash?
No. I did actually ring Norwich at 2.55, but I thought Crystal Palace are that type of side that can always get the goal, maybe a 1-1. I'm just going to go with both teams to score at 1.7. I mean, I told you, this is
How
really...
low can you go?
I know, honest to God.
That's incredibly low
yeah,
for you.
Exactly.
That's like me playing like a 1.3.
Well, this is it. I mean, I've got both
1.2.
teams to score at 1.8 because I can't pick the winner. But if you can't pick the winner, have the draw. But the thing is, there's a reason why, like, the Wolves could win at Watford, but it's the same with Norwich could beat Palace, Palace could beat Norwich.
Do you think?
Yeah,
I don't know if Norwich could beat Crystal Palace.
Well, yeah, but Norwich have like beaten Man City. They scored 2 at the weekend against Spurs. They do score goals at home. So for me, I'm just going to go with both teams score 1.7, pick up the 0.7 units, and move on.
That is very low for you, Martin. Do you have a bet for this match? I bet if you do, it's going to be higher than 1.7.
No, I think it might be the same.
I'm passing this game. I think this is my only pass of the round of fixtures now that I've played that Newcastle v Leicester game. I just can't. I have no idea what's going to happen in this one. Norwich are horrendous at the back, whereas Crystal Palace aren't particularly exciting going forwards. Who knows? I mean, I'd be leaning towards Crystal Palace, but not confident enough to play it. If anything, guns ahead, I'd probably go for a draw, but I have no idea what's going to happen on the goal scoring markets either. So I'm just going to move along and not risk playing this one.
Okay. All right. How many passing? Is it just the one today?
Just the one, yeah. I was going to pass 2, but I've decided to go for Leicester after the voices in my head convinced me to. Yeah, so just one, just one.
That sounds completely normal. All right, West Ham versus Bournemouth. West Ham 1.97, Bournemouth 3.9. So West Ham at home. More wins on the road this season. 3 away wins there, 2 home wins. West Ham, though, they're in 17th, just 1 point above the relegation zone. So West Ham need the points, but Bournemouth is not a side to knock. What do you like?
I've had to put a line through this one as well because David Moyes is back now as West Ham manager. Pellegrini's left. They're a bad side. Bournemouth are a bad side. I went with West Ham at 1.97 first of all, thinking home, just being at home and the crowd. But I'm not sure that you like your word galvanise. I'm not sure that David Moyes is the man that can galvanise anything. So I'm just going to put a line for it and have 2 bets in my next one.
Oh, all right then. Martin, what have you got?
Yeah, I don't see much galvanising on behalf of David Moyes either, really, to be honest. He's a pretty dour Scot. He's not the sort of guy to really fire up a bit of passion in his players. He's not Duncan Ferguson ripping off his jacket and pumping his fists and going mental on the touchline. He's as I say, he's a pretty dour guy. I'm not sure he's going to have the immediate impact that the West Ham hierarchy are demanding. I think this is a game that Bournemouth can get a result in. They've got a very, very good record against West Ham, unbeaten in their last 5 meetings with them. I know they're in horrendous form. They've got injury problems, but Bournemouth have a knack of pulling off a result every now and again that just gets them out of trouble. Eddie Howe is still a good tactician. I think he'll find a good way of approaching this game. I think they can get something here. I was going to go for Bournemouth at 4, but I thought that was a bit outrageous for me, so yeah. I've gone for Bournemouth draw double chance instead. Ooh. At odds of 1.95.
Just to let people know that on Saturday I did actually tweet and copied in at Odds Market and SBR Sports Pick of Bournemouth to go down was available at 4.5. Then as of today, every single book, the best you're going to get is 3.5. So Bournemouth to be relegated, I think this is the season they go.
Oh. Well, we're going to do the futures video next week, aren't we?
Yeah. I let them know at 4.5 and it's now 3.5.
So we're not going to be next week. Now you've said this, you're going to push the odds right down.
Or let's hope so, because if they get beat again this week and Watford get a result, or any of the teams above Bournemouth get a result, then Bournemouth could well be just sitting right on the trapdoor.
Yes. I was just reading here, interesting, King Jorge, Bournemouth on goal drought.
They're on everything drought. Points.
Yeah, they are. Callum Wilson can't hit a barn door with a banjo right now, which is a bit worrying for them. But these trends have to end sooner or later. I think they'll finally find their way. I reckon they'll beat the drop. Interesting relegation battle this season, though. I know we're going to get onto it in a futures video coming up soon, but it could be a really intense battle now that Watford. I don't think Watford will go down. Be very worried for Norwich and Villa, but any of the big teams could be sucked into it. West Ham are probably looking in trouble with the way they're defending at the moment. So it's going to be a very interesting season at the bottom of the table.
Bournemouth or West Ham? Which one of them two would you pick?
Well, he's going for Bournemouth double chance.
No, I'm talking about Bournemouth or West Ham to be relegated.
I'd go for West Ham. Bournemouth, every season, Bournemouth seem to be, they always look like they're going to get relegated at one point or another. And then they put together a string of like 5 wins out of 7 and soar up the table. Once they get their players back from injury, I think they'll get out of trouble. I'd be a lot more fearful for West Ham right now. The squad looks like it's in disarray and they're horrible at the back.
So who do we think? Norwich, West Ham, Villa?
Well, I'll go for Bournemouth, Norwich, Villa.
Do you think Villa's
yeah.
gone?
Villa all season. I mean, they impressed me for a bit, but they've picked up major injuries to major players. Obviously, January's going to be massive for these clubs of who they're able to bring in. Now, Villa have got financial clout, but you've got to make sure you're shrewd and you pick the right player that can come in and hit the ground running.
Mm-hmm. Okay, 2 more matches to preview. These both will be clipped on Odds Market, so I am going to have to say the same thing on both of these. Okay, Arsenal versus Manchester United. Before I get, just in case you're watching the clip and not the full-length video, if you're not watching the full-length video, we do a full-length video previewing all 10 games. If you're just watching the clip, we are moving over to sportsbookreview.com. We are the sister site. Odds Market is the sister site for Sportsbook Review. We used to be on Sportsbook Review. We came over to Odds Market and we are moving back. We are strengthening Sportsbook Review and basically bringing our European content over there. So video will be found on, if you type in SBR Sportsbook Review in the search bar in YouTube, you'll find us. It's the SBR with the bull with the logo on the logo, or follow us on Twitter at SBR Sports Picks. You get notifications of shows. We do an NBA, NHL. We do everything, to be honest. Bowls. You'll find his mug covering every single bowl there is still going. Yes. So head on over sportsbookreview.com.
And if you do watch them, can you watch it right to the end? Because that's when I decide which book I'm going to be using. When I shouldn't have done, I should have said right at the very beginning. So excuse me, but please stay with me. Got
it on camera, please. Hang in there, he'll get it right at one point. That's all right. Yes, so Arsenal 2.72, Manchester United 2.6, and the draw 3.52. I'm not going to repeat word for word what Don 07, but if you scroll up, you will see. But he says that he thinks he will take his chances with Arsenal. He's going to take his chances with Arsenal. I don't know what makes him say that. He's going to take his chances with Arsenal. But let us speak to the suffering Gunners fan over here. Are you going to jump in the way Don 07's jumping in?
No way. I wish I could. I wish I could be that confident. I mean, we almost got that morale-boosting victory against Chelsea. Then Bernd Leno comes out with an absolute howler. They pour up the pitch, try to get a winner. Totally immature and get done on the break and lose 2-1. Horrendous stuff. Man United's a team that worry me against Arsenal because they like to play on the break. They play good counter-attacking football. They're very quick going forwards, and they're in good form at the moment. Arsenal haven't got a good record against Man United at all. This is a game that I think Man United will score in. Probably at least once, maybe twice. I'm a bit wary of Arsenal just because of the new manager bounce with Arteta. I think they're slowly starting to improve, but the defensive issues are still going to be there. And yeah, they're a work in progress. If I was playing the outrights, I'd be leaning towards Man United just because they're better against the teams that like to play football and like to dominate possession, so they can hit you on the break with their pace. But I'm just going to stick with the Alex Classic bet of both teams to score an over 2.5 goals at 1.87. I still think Arsenal will get on the score sheet even if they do lose.
Yeah. I like that bet, to be honest with you. Not playing the outright, although definitely leaning towards Manchester United. Shamil says Manchester United win and both teams to score. King Jorge, Arsenal problem is defence. There was another one as well. Rude Boy, Man United and both teams to score. Yes. Ulrich, Man United all the way. So a lot of fans on the Arsenal. Just Don 07 is jumping in on the Arsenal win. What are you doing?
Arsenal looked really good on the front foot the other day. I was really encouraged by the way that they were actually being more disciplined early on in the game, and they sat and they fed and they passed it quickly, and there was good movement as well. I think the absolute banker of the weekend is the Alex Classic at 1.87. The good thing is with the Alex Classic is Man United are so good on the break. Manchester United will be over the moon to have the likes of James, Martial, Rashford, and whoever else he sits in there to hit them on the break, almost cheating. But I think we'll see a different Arsenal this weekend, and I'm going for Arsenal to win the game and both teams to score at 3.75. I think this crowd, and if I remember rightly, over about the last 25 years, Arsenal hate Manchester United, and they will keep going. The crowd will stay in the game, and I can easily see this being a mad game of 2-1, 3-2. But I think Arsenal, the home side, at 3.75 and both teams to score is probably the way for me to go.
You're always swimming against the current, aren't you?
Well, you say that, but I've got Arsenal at home who will score goals. Man United don't keep many clean sheets. They were lucky.
True. Yeah, we'll go for the Alex Classic.
That's my banker.
Okay.
The Alex Classic, my banker.
Oh, right, because you said you got 2 bets.
Yeah, so basically what I'm doing is I think the Alex Classic is an absolute moral.
Yes.
So if I put my 2 units on there, I'm going to win 1.74 units. So if I put 1 unit on Arsenal and both teams to score and it doesn't come off, I've still made 0.74 units on the game.
Dono7, yes, I'm not alone. Yeah,
we are.
you and Dono7 swimming up the.
Well, I'm drowning.
Going up the.
At least I've got Dom to push down and keep me floating.
You are on a roll. You guys don't like Manchester United? No?
I'd be leaning towards them, but you never know with Arsenal. I mean, they've got to get a result sooner or later. Something's got to happen to kickstart Arteta's managerial career. They almost got it against Chelsea. They were so close. If it wasn't for Burnley making that individual error, they'd have won the game. Could be Man United, could be their scalp, but yeah, I'd be leaning towards Man United, but not confident enough to play it.
This is a Man United side that just went to Watford and got beat. I know there was a howler and a penalty, but listen, I think the home side, with the feel-good factor, obviously the new manager with a big side coming to town. I think Arsenal, both teams. I think the both teams will score as a knocker. Okay,
yeah.
So and I think the over is a knocker because both teams are going to go for the win. Both teams have got plenty pace in the final third of their opponents. So I mean, listen, you could actually go with Arsenal and both teams score at 3.75, or you could go with Man United to win and both teams to score at maybe 3.60, and you're going to make money either way. I think there's goals in this game. Pay your money, take your choice, but I'm going to go with the home side, and it's a moral Alex Classic.
Moral. That's what a moral flashlights that word. Paddy's Alex Classic, a banker here. Rude Boy finishes the conversation by saying, "I hate both." There you go. So, final game we're previewing on Premier League punters for oddsmarket.com before we are taking this, because our show is doing so well, boys, that we are being taken back. They're like, "Nah, we want you back." We're like, "Okay."
Like David Moyes.
They were like, "Bring Wenger back." Off we come back.
Wenger in.
All
Wenger
right
in.
then. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. No, they're like, "No, we want us all under one roof. We want European sports over on SBR." So for the final clip, and I must say it again, we will be the next Premier League punters. You will be watching us on Sportsbook Review, SBR Sportsbook Review. Put that in the YouTube search. You'll find us. It's a logo with a bull. It says SBR on a bull. Or follow us on Twitter at SBR Sports Picks. Sorry for repeating myself for the 4th time for those watching the whole video. And yeah, so we'll be going. Also, all articles and everything, same writers, same content, but over at sportsbookraeview.com/picks. And for those that don't know Sportsbook Review, you now have just opened up a door to a whole host of other sports and great cappers. It's not just our wonderful selves that kill it, but there's a whole other load of people, including Jimmy the Bag. You've got Jamming with Jay Money. You've got Adam Booth is over there. He's on NHL. So yeah. All right. Anything to add? Will you miss me? King? Well, we'll be still together, won't it? Be the same for us, really.
Let's hope so. I mean, obviously, I want that confirmed.
No,
I don't want to be sitting here too happy for too long.
What do you mean?
Well, I'll be nervous until you tell me exactly what's going on.
I thought what's going on.
Well, that's
we're
why-
moving over because we're crushing it.
I know we are, but
They want us back.
I know, but I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah. King Jorge is asking, what of La Liga? La Liga is on in 12 minutes. Not 100% sure what all the other shows are going to look like, but it would be, I don't know if you guys remember from last season, we had the Best Bet show. That was kind of fun, but we'll have a think. But of course, there will be Europe, the rest of the leagues covered. How? We'll see. But yes, the decision was just made like literally a couple of hours ago, so that's why we are informing you. And we had luckily the last show to talk about it. So, Liverpool versus Sheffield United. Liverpool 1.32 and Sheffield United 13. Liverpool grinding out results like Martin. Aren't they? Grinding out results. Yeah. So, I don't know, Sheffield United, they can be a dark horse, but Liverpool, they are in such good form. It is. I think one of the comments actually that I read was like saying like a suicide to bet against Liverpool, especially on their home turf. I would agree with that comment. Martin, what do you think?
Yeah, you can't bet against Liverpool at Anfield. They've won 10 out of 10 there. I mean, they've won all their games apart from one this season, which was a draw. They're invincible at the moment. Anfield's a fortress. Until this week, Sheffield United were the only other team, along with Liverpool, to be unbeaten away from home this season. That record has now gone out the window with that 2-0 defeat to Man City. And I think the onus is on Liverpool now to achieve a similar feat at home to a pretty stubborn Blades defence, but I think they've got the pace, the dynamism, the creativity with Firmino, Salah, Mane to open them up. Looks like another grinding out victory for Liverpool for me. Relatively low scoring, I would say. I think I'm just going to keep it really simple and go for Liverpool and under 4.5 goals. Only 1.62, but I'll make that my banker, so I'll make more money off it if it comes in, which I think it will. Can't see Sheffield United conceding 4 or 5 goals in this game, but yeah. I think Liverpool get the job done.
Mm-hmm. All right, and that's another Martin classic there. The Liverpool win and under 4.5 goes. Shamil is taking it 2 steps further and doing Liverpool win and under 2.5 goals. Possibly also like a Liverpool win to 0. They've got a really good defence. What do you go for?
Oh no, this is a trap. This is a massive trap. You've got Sheffield United, by the way, who were very impressive again yesterday at the Etihad. I think the Liverpool drop points here. I think the draw is in play. I think Sheffield United plus 1.5 is in play. You might even get better than that. Sheffield United probably tactically the most tactically astute manager. You've got players that probably won't come out their holes. They've also got pace now on the break in Musset. I'm leaving the game alone. I'm leaving the game alone, and I'd like to revisit it next week. Like I said, not quite as bad as when I think it was Bournemouth or Southampton went to Chelsea, and they were like around 13 they were as well. 13's unlucky for some, and I'd be very, very careful of Liverpool versus Sheffield United this week.
And you're very good at sniffing out those traps. I've got Abu Lemi Gessit, Liverpool versus Sheffield, going for the draw. So, Martin, Liverpool in the under 4.5 goals. You are staying, and if you actually look at Flash's notes here, he does like crosses on the ones that he's passing, but this one is like an extra cross. It's like a cross, it's like a cross, and then it is right.
I don't even want to see it.
You're like, okay, trap.
Yes.
There we go. Flash is good at sniffing out those traps, so be warned. Maybe at the very least, don't put it in an accumulator bet or a parlay bet, that 1.32, just in case. All right, boys, we've got a couple of minutes to run through because we've got the show starting next. I'm hoping that Alex is going to post the link. If not, if he's gone, you might be preparing, actually. I'll post it whilst you guys are running through. So let's start with you, Flash. Run down your bets, please. If you've got a banker, let us know, or a 2-team parlay, let us know. Yeah,
because I had no banker or parlay at the weekend, and I made 9.67 in profit. Okay, Brighton, Chelsea, Alex Classic at 2. Burnley to win and over 1.5 at 2.25. 1.5. Southampton versus Spurs. Spurs and over 1.5 at 2.4. Watford Wolves, both teams to score at 1.8. Norwich and Crystal Palace, both teams to score at 1.7. West Ham, no, forget that. Arsenal, Man United, Alex Classic at 1.87. And Arsenal and both teams to score at 3.75. And my banker is the moral, the Alex Classic, Arsenal versus Manchester United at 1.87. And remember what I said, Liverpool, Sheffield United is a trap.
The moral, the banker, the 2-unit play.
At 1.87.
Okay. Martin, what have you got for us, please?
So I'm going for both teams to score at 1.67 when Brighton host Chelsea at the Amex. Burnley straight win at 1.85. Both teams to score and over 2.5 goals when Tottenham travel to St Mary's to face Southampton. Under 2.5 goals in the Watford v Wolves game at 1.9. Man City, I'm giving them a minus 1.75 Asian handicap against Everton at 2.02. Going Bournemouth and the draw double chance at 1.95 against West Ham. Oh, I added in Leicester and under 4.5 goals, didn't I, at St James's Park, 1.88. Also going for that same bet of both teams to score and over 2.5 goals, Arsenal versus Man United at 1.87. And finally, I'm not thinking it's a trap. I'm going Liverpool and under 4.5 goals, 1.62 as a banker. Can't go against Liverpool with the form they're in.
Yes, grinding out the results. Yes. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please come join us over at SBR Sportsbooks. You guys really make it. I love the comments. I'm telling you what, Don, you are killing it with your comments today. All the demons in Flash's head is saying it's a trap. I can imagine there's quite a few in there saying it's a trap.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think if you are going to play Liverpool, the safest way to play them is probably the way that Martin suggested. But again, he's even said that it's 1.62. That's why. I mean, because I could see if Liverpool do win this, they're going to win it 1-0 or 2-1. So I'd prefer to probably get bigger value than 1.62 on maybe Sheffield United plus 2 goals.
Yeah. All right, we're going to have to run 5 minutes before the next show. Alex Classic posted the link just there, so head on over. We've got number Juan, we've got Radic, Martin, Flash is a whole host. Enjoy the show. I'm going to go. Thank you.
See you,
Thanks
boss.
everyone for watching. Bye guys. Cheers, Martin.
Bye.
Very good.